My name is John Becker. I'm the president of the Sheboygan Community Theater Foundation, who has the honor and responsibility of owning this wonderful theater. We welcome each and every one of you to the theater for this important announcement and this exciting occasion. The mayor, Schramm, has come here to speak to us for a couple of minutes. I would like you to please welcome the mayor to the theater. Mayor Schramm.
Thank you, John. Good afternoon, everyone. It is a pleasure to participate in this landmark news conference in which the Stephanie Weill Foundation announces its most generous support of the rebirth and restoration of the Sheboygan Theater. I extend a warm welcome to representatives of the Weill Foundation here today, as well as representatives from the Chamber of Commerce, Business Improvement District, Sheboygan Symphony Orchestra, Sheboygan Theater Board and donors, and our elected officials. The Sheboygan Theater is rich in historical significance in our community. Built in 1928 with a rare atmospheric design and utilized as a showplace for acts in silent movies, and later transformed into a movie theater by Market Theater Management Company, the Sheboygan Theater stands on the brink of being restored to its original grandeur as a performing arts and entertainment center. Without question, this building certainly harbors very enjoyable memories for many of us. The entire reconstruction and renovation project is indeed exciting and presents a marvelous opportunity for our downtown to shine as a center for arts and entertainment. This ambitious project, when combined with the recent completion of the Mead Library expansion project and the upcoming completion of construction at the Children's Museum and the John Michael Kohler Art Center, will certainly put a fresh face upon the Harbor Center Business District and immensely add to the future possibilities for our downtown. I extend my heartfelt thanks and that of the entire Sheboygan area to the Stephanie Weill Foundation for its continuing support of education and the arts in Sheboygan. In addition to its support of the Sheboygan Theater, the Weill Foundation played a significant role in funding the recent expansion at the Mead Public Library and the current expansion of the Kohler Arts Center. The foundation is indeed a very supportive and generous friend of our community. I would also like to thank the Sheboygan Community Theater Foundation for its leadership and foresight in acquiring this facility, the many donors who have been generous with both their monetary and in-kind donations, and the hundreds of theater volunteers who have worked thousands of hours in the theater construction project. I thank and commend these public-minded individuals. Your generosity and hard work has personalized and added character to the entire project. As we anticipate a grand opening in 2001, I look forward to the Sheboygan Theater becoming the home of the Sheboygan Symphony, and for this building serving as a venue for the community by hosting performances by schools and arts organizations, entertainment groups, and state and dance clubs, as well as serving as a most beautiful site for civic gatherings and many, many other special occasions. All of us take pride in the Sheboygan Theater project and are especially thankful for the generosity of the Weill Foundation for again displaying its commitment to both the heritage and future of the arts, entertainment, and education in Sheboygan. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to introduce the members of the board. As I said, I'm the president of the board, but I think it's appropriate to introduce people, and then you'll know who you can ask questions of if you have questions about what we've done so far, what our plans are in the future. First, I'd like to introduce our chairman, Mary Garton. It's right up here in the front. Our Vice President is Carl Gruby. The Treasurer is Don Zastro. The Secretary is Lois Pauls, all the way on the other side. Additional members of our board are Reynolds Honnold, Barb Rainitz, Amy Malewski, Bob Johnson. Raise your hands as I call your name so people can locate you. It's hard with the light to see where everybody is. Richard Meyer, Pam Garten, and Bob Peterson is an ex officio member of our board. Thank you and welcome. It occurred to me as I came in the theater today, this being the most cleaned up that this theater has been in quite some time, that anybody who has not had the honor and pleasure of being in this theater as we've progressed through the project might look at this building in kind of its tattered condition and think that, boy, we've got a lot of project to do, and once they start on this, they're going to really see what a big project this is. Well, to let you know, I want to give you a little bit of background of what has been done already. When we bought this theater, it'll be 2 years ago this New Year's Eve day, this theater was twinned. It was a movie theater with 2 screens, one to the east and one to the west. Those theaters have been taken down and removed. All the seating for those theaters have been removed. Up in the balcony, as you turn and look at the balcony, and I'd welcome you to take your opportunity to go up and look at it closer, the balcony has been completely re-stepped to provide more legroom and more comfort for people that have balcony seats. The floor that you're standing on has been completely re-sloped from the farthest back portion of the auditorium all the way to the front. The orchestra pit has been doubled in size, and if you take the opportunity to look over, it is now prepared for a hydraulic lift so that we will have a lift that will enable us to have a thrust portion of the stage. It'll be an orchestra pit for musical performances and also an elevator for pianos and organs and things like that. The Bernie Grinke Sr. and Bernie Grinke Jr. are here from Conrad Schmidt Studios. Please stand up. The Grinkes have produced the sample of the restoration of the theater so that people can see what this theater can look like. This sample has undergone quite a bit of abuse and is still quite beautiful. In digging this pit, there was a lot of heavy construction equipment here, and it threw up an awful lot of dust. It made it hard to breathe, much less see in this place. So thank you. It's beautiful work. This theater, the purpose of this theater is to complement the venues that already exist in Sheboygan County, to complement the rich tradition of performing arts in this county, and to provide a venue that is in a historically significant setting for people to enjoy live theater, ballet, traveling productions from a local, regional, and national level, and also to provide a forum for film that might not otherwise make it to Sheboygan County, art film and older films that wouldn't otherwise have a place to be shown here. We have been lucky in the early stages, this being an early stage, to have benefited from very generous benefactors in these early stages. And I would like to recognize them now. It is through the contributions and the confidence that these benefactors have shown that we've been able to proceed this far and will be able to proceed into the future and complete this project for everybody's enjoyment. I'd like to introduce Walter Brand, Marion Bob Garten, and additionally Sandy and Tom Testweed. Right back there. Thank you all. It is with sincere pleasure and great excitement on my part and on the part of the Board of Directors of the Sheboygan Community Theater Foundation that we bring you all here to celebrate the gift that has been given to us by the Stephanie Weill Foundation. I'd like to introduce Elton Borfin as the president of the Stephanie Weill Foundation. By this announcement, this theater, from this point forward, will be the historic Sheboygan Theater that is contained within the confines of the Stephanie H. Weill Center for the Performing Arts. The Stephanie Weill Foundation has most generously granted to the Community Theater Foundation and to the restoration effort of this theater a gift in the amount of $2.25 million. And now I'd like to introduce or have Elton Borfin come and make some comments.
Thank you. It is indeed a pleasure on our Board of Directors' part to be a part of this celebration. We really feel a big part of it, but we enjoy this event just as much as everybody that's listening to what we're going to say. I would like to introduce our other board members. Alan Voss, Attorney Alan Voss, is on our board, over to my left. We have one other board member, and that's John Kekkonen. I do not believe he is here. His wife Ann is here. Raise your hand, Ann. The Stephanie Weill Foundation was created in 1969 by Stephanie Weill. The purpose of the foundation and the mission of the foundation was to provide for community needs. We have emphasized over the past years the library, education, and the arts. In order to fully understand why we made this gift of $2.25 million, one has to go back and take a quick look at the family that made it possible, and that would be the Weill family. John and Stephanie came to Sheboygan in 1941 from Austria. John had been made the president of the American Share Company, which had been purchased by the Thonay Company, which the Weill family was involved with in Austria. Mr. and Mrs. Weill spent the rest of their life in Sheboygan. Matter of fact, most of it on 5th Street, if those of you who know where the residence was. During this period of time, they were very active, civically, culturally, and socially. After John died, Stephanie's brother Otto Bick, who was living in New York at the time, came to Sheboygan and lived with his sister until her death, and then lived the rest of his life. Those of you who remember Otto and Steffi remember that they were extremely active in all the cultural events of this community. When there was a performing art presentation in this county or area, they tried to make it. It is because of this that the Weill board felt that it was most appropriate to make this type of gift. We believe that it would have been a dream come true for the Weill family to have this happen. I would like to publicly thank each and every one of the board members of the theater for their decision to permanently name this theater as the Stephanie H. Weill Center for the Performing Arts. We appreciate it. We know that the family would have greatly appreciated it and to be a part of this theater and have their name on it. I would also like to challenge everybody here this evening. There's plenty of work to do. This is $2.25 million. I think our theater board is going to be announcing a campaign shortly. It's a good start, but we need your support. We need the support of the city of Sheboygan, which we have heard from. And I think together as a partnership, the Sheboygan, City of Sheboygan, the theater board, and our board, we will make this not only a dream for Stephanie Weill, her husband, and Otto Bick, but a dream for all of us. So thank you and good luck.
Thank you very much.
My dad is Bernie Sr. over here, and there'll be 3 generations of Brinkies that will be working on the theater. My dad goes back a lot further than I do, but I remember the theater when coming out of Prangies and jumping in the car and heading off to the theater. It was a wonderful experience. But this is just the start of something to come. When the Sheboygan is restored, all of Sheboygan will have a new pride, and the downtown area will be completely revitalized. It happens every time.
You have any particular memories about the Sheboygan yourself, the Sheboygan Theater?
Up in the balcony, sure. I do. Yes, when I was young, 17, 18 years old, I'd be up there with a girl and watching, I don't know what shows, but I remember being here and we had a lot of fun. And I think my mother and father either met here or this was their first date was here.
There's a lot of sentiment in here.
Right.
You worked on a number of other theater projects. I think you worked in the Manitowoc Theater, didn't you? Your firm.
Right.
And I know you worked on some in Southern Illinois. What do you think of, say, this project as compared to some of those, in terms of what you're starting with?
This is by far much further ahead. It's in much better condition than most of the theaters. The theaters are not in this good of condition. The Hawaii Theater we restored wasn't in this good of condition. The Orpheum in Phoenix, the Egyptian in Ogden, none of them were in this good a condition. This is in excellent condition, and they've already started remolding the plastering, Luzak Brothers, and once it starts, it's going to grow, and it'll continue to grow right through the whole community.
One other thing I always found fascinating, because I know I was involved with one in Manitowoc as well, that you use a lot of volunteers. How do you work volunteers that aren't artisans into this project?
We have them do the washing, cleaning, patching, priming, and we would be doing all the painting, the decorating, the glazing, sizing, gilding, burnishing. So we keep the decorators where they belong.
I'm standing here with Eldon Borofen, the president of the Sylvia H. Weill Foundation, who has today announced a very generous donation. Would you like to tell us something about the Stephanie Weill Foundation?
Yes, the Stephanie Weill Foundation was created in 1969 by Stephanie. The Weill family did not have children, and they believed strongly in providing for the community, and so the foundation was created to help the community. And as I'd mentioned earlier this evening, we have emphasized the education, the arts, and the library as our major benefactors.
How did you get interested in specifically the Sheboygan Theater?
Well, if you put it together, the 3 people involved in the family were Steffi, her husband John, and Stephanie's brother Otto Bick. In the past, when we looked at the three areas of our interest, education, arts, and the library fit into Otto Bick. He used that library extensively. Whereas in this particular case, the theater, all three of them used it. And we thought probably if we tried to think of some project over the next 10 years, we couldn't duplicate this one. This covers all the areas of interest right here with this series of performing arts for the next decades. What a wonderful way to use our money.
How about you personally? Do you have any memories of the Sheboygan Theater?
Well, I came to the community in 1974, and yes, I do. I came to a number of movies. As a matter of fact, I used to work at the Citizens Bank of Sheboygan, and I remember fondly how the people would line up outside to get in for the Christmas movies. They'd invite the people that were elderly to enjoy a movie and have a cup of coffee, and these people just couldn't get enough of it. They loved the theater building here. This is part of Sheboygan.
Well, hope.
I wasn't born in Sheboygan. I moved here in 1978, so I don't have any stories of being here growing up, but I was able to attend a couple movies when the theater was still in existence as a twin. My involvement with the renovation has been from, I guess, day one, not only from a contractor standpoint, but also just from a general interest. Learned a lot about just what the makings of a theater or theatrical performance is. It's been a wonderful opportunity to work with a lot of people from the Sheboygan area in a grassroots effort from all volunteers and working with some of the local contractors, not only working side by side with them and trying to get the construction going, but working side by side trying to figure out how to get the construction going with initially limited funds and now thankfully some more cash in the bank. It's a wonderful, worthwhile project that I think everyone in Sheboygan will be watching through the completion right now, and just very happy to be a part of it.
Where do you think this would fit in, say, future Sheboygan? How do you visualize this performing arts center tying in with the rest of what's happening in Sheboygan?
Well, as we heard tonight with the Meade Public Library and the Kohler Arts Center and the Children's Museum and the Sheboygan County Museum, we're getting more cultural. I think that's the best way to say it. And I hope that we can be a stopping point here for traveling exhibits and troops and whatever that are coming through on their way up to Green Bay or the Twin Cities. We just need some more cultural activity in Sheboygan, and this is going to be a place where they can find a home.
You just take them over there? Shoot them in the studio when they get through here. Look at here. Take a shot from there, the seats.
wide thing. Seat space.
Just stick around there wherever you did it. When you get down there, you take some cotton, you gotta rub it down a little bit. What you said here. And it scrapes off the little stuff, the little flakes and stuff. Here's a little sample going in. Little.
basically just getting it so that the molding plaster will hold the sign on. The screws are mostly a safety thing, just in case the molding plaster lets loose. What I'm going to do now is just wet this down so that the other plaster adheres. Yeah. you know what?
All we need is a sound man. Sound man. Yep. So I'm gonna see it. See how it's got that nice leather look? See what tough when you get that red carpet right up against it. Yep. Sort of, kind of. Yeah, a little more there.
Rogers out there. And Mike Buddy. Here's the Weill. Johnson about to the third. Loretta picks that, looks to run her back to third, and
shot. the Roaring '20s, and like the rest of America, Sheboygan was roaring too. Industry was booming, spirits soaring, and the city was growing. This growth was accompanied by the development of numerous urban amenities, some of the most popular being the city's new theaters, like the Majestic and the Rex. And in 1927, construction began on the Sheboygan Theater, the only one to still stand today. The 1,500-seat combined motion picture and live theater building was built at a cost of $600,000. It was designed in the Spanish colonial revival style, which resulted in the illusion of being seated under the stars within a splendid outdoor courtyard in an old Spanish city. Despite a fire during construction, the theater managed to open its doors 6 months ahead of schedule, February 18, 1928. The theater was an instant success thanks to its size and elaborate decoration. By 1950, larger theaters like the Sheboygan were beginning to feel the threat of competition in the form of television. By 1980, the Sheboygan Theater was owned by the Marcus Theater Company, which decided to twin it for revenue purposes. In the early 1990s, Marcus closed the theater to consider other options. Severe water damage finally led Marcus to close the theater doors permanently.
In 1996, in September, the Sheboygan Community Theater Foundation was formed, and that year, in December, was able to purchase the theater at a cost of $50,000. Right after that, the real work began in demolishing the theater with hundreds of volunteers, demolishing the interior, with dismantling the walls, and thus revealing the wonderful Spanish decor, the star-studded sky, and the ornate plaster work. During that time, contractors, engineers, and architects teamed up to put together what you are going to see in the very near future. Also during that time, we had some very successful fundraising, which of course is ongoing, to enable us to see what we're going to be seeing in the near future. This state-of-the-art, high-quality theater will be home to many of the local performing arts organizations, and most especially to the Sheboygan Symphony and the Sheboygan Symphony Chorus, as well as the Men of Harmony concert series. Beyond that, the Milwaukee Symphony has already committed to doing a performance here in the future. It also will be home to many other cultural events as they come along, looking, for instance, at performing arts groups beyond those mentioned, local civic organizations, perhaps performances for schools, and also for private functions. The historic Sheboygan Theater is a dynamic part of the redevelopment of the historic downtown area and the revitalization of the Bid District, and will be a major complement to downtown Sheboygan. And when it's completed, will be named the Stephanie H. Weill Center for the Performing Arts.
I was called to go to Sheboygan by Bernard Grinke of Connor Smith Studios. I don't know why. He took me and I didn't know where we were going. He landed in the City Hall, and I thought he was going to take me to the jail. And he laughed. No, I said, we went to the mayor's office. And I said, what's this all about? Well, we want to buy the Sheboygan Theater, and I said, do you want to use me? Well, sure. I gave him $100,000, and that day, December 31st, 1995, they went to Milwaukee Market Theater and bought it for $50,000. And they started the theater renovating to use the theater that everybody in the county and even beyond.
Work began soon after the purchase to dismantle the changes Marcus had made. The two side-by-side rectilinear drywall shells, which were suspended from the ceiling with metal rods, were taken down, revealing the auditorium's original structure. The floor was re-sloped to better suit a multi-purpose performing arts theater. Work remains ongoing to regain the theater's rightful place as one of Sheboygan's historic showpieces.
I'm tremendously thrilled to be sitting here in the theater and to be looking at all the work that's been going on. We are very excited with the Sheboygan Symphony to be coming in here very soon and making this our home. The big thing that we have been looking forward to in the past number of years, when this theater really became a reality, is to have a home of our own. And right now we really don't have that. We rehearse in different places in the community, different schools depending on schedules, and we play in the Kohler Theater, which has been a very nice home for us over the past number of years, but there are a lot of things that the Sheboygan Theater will do quite a bit better for us. It's going to be better acoustically, certainly going to be better in terms of space, and the symphony, if you come to symphony concerts, you will know that we are oftentimes spilling out the sides of the stage because we simply don't have enough room. And one of the other things that I'm very excited about that this will offer is that there's going to be a working pit, and it will make it possible for us to do opera the way it should be done. It'll make it possible for us to do a Nutcracker ballet and to do things that will be very exciting for the community. One of the most exciting parts, however, it's possible you may be able to hear this just because of the sound of my voice in here, but the acoustics in this room are tremendous, and I got a chance to come in here early on with my friend Carl Gruby to test it out, and the minute I walked in here I could feel that this is going to be a great place to have a concert, so we're very excited about it. The other thing that's, I think, critical is the centralization for the community. The Sheboygan Symphony is a Sheboygan-based group, and we've been performing our concerts in Kohler for a long time, and we would very much like to have the people in Sheboygan feel like this is a part of their community and make it something that is a continual activity for them. And we are doing a lot of things with the symphony that we would like to include people in bringing different kinds of programs. We do Pops concerts every year, we do a Messiah every year, and it will make it a lot easier for us to have a place that we can call our own.
As a general thing, most people hope for something better for their grandchildren than what they had when they were young. But I'm different. I have worked for over 10 years trying to restore this beautiful classic theater. I want my children and grandchildren to experience the same thrill that I had when I came here years ago. I want them to be able to come to this beautiful, magic place and have their hearts opened and their hearts lifted.
This is truly an exciting and greatly anticipated project, one which we believe has the capacity to become a transforming force in our area, breathing new life into the groups and organizations performing in the theater, and also into downtown Sheboygan. Our goal is to do more than just refurbish and restore an historic landmark to the highest contemporary standards of function, technology, and comfort, but also to endow its operation so that performances and audiences alike will be able to afford to use it to its full capacity. Many of you have been waiting patiently to give to this project. Others may have thought we'd never ask. But now we are asking. We have set a very, very ambitious goal of $9.75 million. We have already raised more than $5 million of that goal through some very generous lead gifts and more than 200 other contributions. But we have $4 million to raise. And we know we can do it, but we need your help. We have a few major naming opportunities still available, and many other recognition opportunities. We have put together a booklet of items in and around the theater that will be available for purchase. There will be pledge cards that you will receive, and multi-year pledges are very welcome. In order to build, operate, and sustain the finished facility, we must reach the entire goal. It's time for all of us to elevate our thinking about giving. The 80s and 90s have been very good to many of us financially, and we now have this amazing opportunity to give something back. Sheboygan needs and wants this Center for the Performing Arts, and we can make it happen. This opportunity has come once. We could strive for less, but we know the time is right now. You will want to share in the pride next fall when the Stephanie H. Weill Center for the Performing Arts opens its doors. So when you make your pledge, think about your contribution. Think about adding a few zeros to it. You won't be sorry. And thank you very much for your interest in this wonderful project.